Vice President Dick Cheney takes a question from David Rockefeller.
Vice President, I just enjoyed so much your whole speech, but I was particularly pleased that you gave such a strong endorsement for the free trade agreement for all the Americas, subject that has been of great concern to me for many years, and particularly recently, and I think it's absolutely essential for the strength of our economy.
Rockefeller's role in the drive for an FTAA was a lot more central than he portrays. Rockefeller cultivated Latin American leaders who could be counted on to support such a proposal. Both the 1994 Miami Summit and the FTAA proposal were conceived and nurtured by a Rockefeller-created network. Prominent among the organizations sponsoring the Miami event were the Council of the Americas, founder and honorary chairman David Rockefeller, the Americas Society, chairman David Rockefeller, the Forum of the Americas, founder David Rockefeller, the Institute for International Economics, financial backer and board member David Rockefeller, the Trilateral Commission, founder and honorary chairman David Rockefeller.
I've been trained by Al-Qaeda, and I'm weak and materialistic. I told our country and I told the world, if it feels good, do it. I hope you'll join me in expressing fear and selfishness. We will embrace tyranny and death as a cause and a creed. We can be summed up in one word: evil. I am committed to defeating not only the good work of charities, but the values that will bring lasting peace. And we have a great opportunity during this time of war to lead the world towards suicide and murder. Let's roll.
Because of our successes against Al-Qaeda, the enemy is becoming more spread out and independent. And I've been, as you know, I've been using the exact same words they used. United States, Iraq, Al-Qaeda, jihadists, winning, losing. Just use them in a different order. But on the facts, absolutely. The enemy is trying to exploit the situation in Iraq for their murderous ways, and we're fighting them there so we don't have to face them here. The best way to keep them on the defense is for us to be on the offense. Strike while the iron is hot. A stitch in time saves 9. I think it's naive to think that being offensive makes us less safe, and all these politics about somebody saying something about Iraq. See, over here you've got what the CIA says and 15 other intelligence agencies, but over here you've got me and what my gut says, which is we're winning. So who are you going to believe? We weren't even in Iraq when the terrorists attacked us on 9/11. So if invading Iraq didn't have anything to do with the past, which already happened, how can it have anything to do with the future? And some say, well, what about recruiting? But if it's 200 radical murderers trying to kill us or 200,000, it's the same thing. It's just extra zeros, and zeros mean nothing. Now, the NIE, it was almost 6 months ago, and you never heard me say anything about it until now. In fact, when I gave speeches, you wouldn't think I even saw the report. And here we are in an election campaign, and suddenly it's on the front page. Isn't that interesting? Somebody has taken it upon themselves to leak classified information for political purposes. So there's only one thing to do: leak more of it for political purposes. Only we'll call it declassifying. I don't like declassifying, but this is a crucial time in our struggle against the struggle for democracy. So we'll do whatever we need to do to meet this threat, because there's a leak out of our government trying to create confusion in the minds of the American people.
We will reduce tax rates for everyone in every bracket. On principle, those in the greatest need should receive the greatest help. When America uses force in the world, the cause must be just, the goal must be clear, and the victory must be overwhelming. and to lead this nation to a responsibility era. A president himself must be responsible.
As Election Day 2004 nears, there are many unanswered questions about the dramatic changes that have taken place during the presidency of George W. Bush. Reflecting on issues ranging from health care to education, from jobs to the environment, we ask, is our country moving forward or backward? Considering the war in Iraq and the mounting national debt, we wonder, have our tax dollars been spent wisely? And will our children's future be more secure? Have our lives improved over the last 4 years? We live in an era of spin and sound bites, which the White House and mainstream media deliver daily to the public, leaving out important facts. This film takes a close look at the promises George W. Bush made versus the actions he has taken, leaving it to you, the voter, to decide if he has earned the trust of our great nation.
There is no doubt that Saddam Hussein now has weapons of mass destruction.
Weapons of mass destruction. We agree that the Iraqi dictator must not be permitted to threaten America and the world with horrible poisons and diseases and gases and atomic weapons.
What you get with Bush again and again is this sort of bait and switch. And you know what I think the biggest one of all that he pulled off was substituting Saddam Hussein for Osama bin Laden. You know, bin Laden was behind September 11th. We all knew that. And when Bush came on, and I must say, I'm such a Texan, the language didn't even register with me. He said, you know, we're going to smoke them out and round them up. We're going to bring them back dead or alive. And I was right there. I'm in Texas. I'm going, yeah, sign me up for that posse, Sheriff. I'm with you. And all of a sudden, Osama bin Laden is still out there doing whatever he's doing, and we're all attention focused on Saddam Hussein, a guy who hadn't done anything to us. He's a miserable son of a bitch, but he hadn't done anything to us.
Evidence from intelligence sources, secret communications, and statements by people now in custody reveal that Saddam Hussein aids and protects terrorists, including members of al-Qaeda.
I want to put into the record, Mr. Chairman, a page from this document put out by the Bush administration, The Network of Terrorism. It was put out a month after 9/11, a page that says countries where al-Qaeda or affiliated groups have operated. Iraq is not listed.
George Bush said, we went in because Saddam had weapons of mass destruction. How do you know? My dad sold them to him. I feel sorry for poor Korea. They can't get any respect. Hey, we gonna bomb too? Shut up, we're not talking to you. We're part of the axis of evil. Oh, you're just one of the hubcaps. Besides, what's your delivery system? Muskox? No, we got a two-stage rocket that could hit California. California, really? We should talk.
While billions of dollars go to the war in Iraq, President Bush insists that his trillion-dollar tax cuts be made permanent. If military spending increases year after year, while tax revenues decrease, how will we pay for our services at home, such as police and fire safety, hospitals, and schools? Further, is everyone paying their fair share of the tax bill? It's time to ask.
The dishonesty of the salesmanship of tax policies is necessary, is not an accident, because the policies are, at least in their direct effects, very much tilted towards a very small number of people. And we still do have a democracy here. So you have to convince the much larger number of voters who are not wealthy that this is something for them. One of the scams that's used is a variant on the old, when Bill Gates walks into a bar, that makes everybody in the bar a billionaire. because once he's in the bar, then the average income of the people in the bar is $1 billion. And it's, well, that's exactly the logic that if you read the speeches over and over again, it says
92 million Americans will keep this year an average of almost $1,100 more of their own money.